Leona, hello. How are you? You all right?
Thank you.
Very nice to see you. Thanks for joining me in this sort of like a nightclub that we've cleared out.
Yeah.
Now we're going to go back to the early days of your life. I understand you were always into music for a very young age, and around the house you were listening to things like, you know, Stevie Wonder and Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston. That seems almost too good to be true. Like, just three really respected, credible artists. Like, if I was honest about what I was listening to, it would absolute embarrassment. Clearly, I'm not a singer. But, I mean, were you aware that you had good musical taste as a kid?
I think I just listened to whatever my mum and dad were playing, which wasn't just those artists. I mean, I listened to a lot of Minnie Riperton and the Beatles and David Bowie and just anything my mum and dad were playing, you know, just they had good taste. Yeah,
well done, your mum and dad. And am I right in saying that your favourite album is Thriller?
It's actually...
Top 3?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
It has to be, right?
Oh, I think so, yeah. Your parents, with the famously good taste, sent you to the Sylvia Young Theatre School and the Italia Conti Academy. Did they recognise something in you from a very early age?
Well, the main reason was my mum was a ballet teacher, and she wanted me to do dance. And at Sylvia Young's, obviously, they do dance, music and drama, and my friend also went there. And so I thought she thought it was a good idea we could go to school together. After
Italia Conti, you went to the Brit School in Croydon. Is that just like Fame, but in Croydon?
A little bit. It's got aspects of it.
And is it true that you were good friends with Katie Melly while you were there?
Yeah, I was in class with Katie.
Okay.
Yeah, and also Luke from the Coops.
Oh, from the Coops,
yeah,
sure.
So we were all in a class together, which was quite funny.
OK, I think we're going to take a quick break now. So just sort of take a breather, relax. Don't get too relaxed. We're going to be back in a couple of minutes. How easy a decision was it to decide to go for the X Factor?
You know, it was one of my options. I just thought I'd go for it and just see, because, you know, when opportunities come your way, you should just take them. And it just so happens that this one was my way to go, you know.
It went pretty well.
Yeah, it did.
From the start of the show, you got a good deal of support from Simon, actually.
Yes.
Which, given his reputation for, you know, maybe being a bit mean, so sometimes justified, were you surprised by that?
Obviously, it's a bit intimidating going in there and knowing that he is notorious for giving really harsh comments, but I was really pleasantly surprised, and I was glad that he was my mentor as well, because I think he's pretty much the best one to get.
Now, how would you describe your relationship with Simon? Is it more sort of like a friends thing, really? Yeah,
I think that our relationship, definitely it's a working relationship, but we've definitely become friends along the way.
And so you could just call him up and have a chat?
Yeah.
If you felt like it.
And just say, hey, how you doing? How's it going?
Yeah, weird to have that sort of relationship with him. That's good. While you're on there, you sang Without You. Are you a fan of Mariah's?
Yeah, I think she's a great vocalist.
And you have been compared vocally to Mariah, which is flattering.
Very flattering, yeah. Very, very cool. You know, she's awesome, and she's got such an amazing range and shows a lot of passion through her voice, so it's nice to be, you know, compared to that.
When you perform with Gary Barlow on the X Factor, and Gary said that thing about, you know, you being 50 times better than anyone else they'd ever had on the show, and that, you know, Simon therefore had a responsibility to make the right record with you. How does that sort of thing make you feel, like that kind of extraordinary next level praise? That was
so cool. It was the first kind of recognition that I'd got from someone that was already in the industry and had, you know, had made a name for himself, obviously, and he's a great writer as well. So I was really happy when he said that, because I was obviously a little worried going into it from previous acts. I'd seen that they'd rushed out albums really quickly, and I knew that I didn't want to do that. And him saying that, you know, really kind of sealed it, and was like, okay, he said it on live TV now, so...
Yeah, and I've got that on tape, Simon, so...
Exactly.
Are you a Take That fan?
Yeah, I am, and definitely a huge fan of Gary as well.
What did you think of a moment like this? Because I suppose that's probably, if anything, the song that you've had least input in choosing.
It's a song to kind of remember the memory of the show, and that's what the winner's single is about.
How did it actually feel after, you know, essentially years of trying to break into the music industry to first hold that physical copy of your single?
It was very cool. I went into a record store as well and saw it there, and I was with my dad, and he got all like proud, and it was a combination of everything I'd been through, you know, all the kind of graft that I'd put in before the show and on the show.
Apparently it shifted, among those 50,000 copies in the first, it says half an hour. It's ludicrous to me, but apparently that's right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Do those sort of statistics mean anything to you? I mean, I can't even compute that, really. It's ludicrous.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, yeah, it's kind of amazing. But I don't look at statistics too much, you know.
I've got a lot of stats coming up, so
Okay.
you might want to not listen. When it came to making the video, I suppose it was the first time as well that it was just all the focus was on you rather than on, you know, previously it was duets and you kind of the framework of the show.
Well, actually, when we filmed it, I actually filmed it with 2 of the other contestants, because at that point they obviously didn't know who was going to win. And so it was like really, really quick.
You get an inkling when the other 2 weren't really lit very well, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first new material, I guess, that most people heard from the Spirit album was Bleeding Love. This launched you in an incredibly big way. Can you remember what you thought of it? Did it immediately grab you?
Yeah, well, I heard it with a guy singing it. It was kind of a rough idea, and yeah, I remember playing it and playing it and playing it and just loving it and just feeling it.
What was Simon's reaction when he first heard the song?
Oh, he was blown away by it. He was, yeah, going crazy. And he was like, this has to be the first thing, because at first Better in Time was going to be the first single, because Bleeding Love came in quite late, and we had planned for Better in Time, and then everything just changed at the last minute.
The video, shot in LA, pretty glamorous. The dress needs to be talked about. It's sort of like a crystal chainmail.
Exactly.
Is that easy to wear?
No, I had a lot of problems. When I took it off, like, I was scratched up, and it's really, really heavy, and so...
What sort of weight are we talking?
I don't know, but really heavy.
I read 18 kilos.
It could have been. It could have been. And the stylist was like, don't break it, because it's like, it was really expensive.
It's worth like 100 grand or something, apparently.
Something
Were you tempted to sort of just
like that.
Take the hem off and have it as a necklace?
Exactly, take a bit of it.
Yeah. They wouldn't know it's a couple of crystals, would they? Surely.
I'm sure a few fell off in the making.
We have been getting pretty deep under the skin. Do you want a quick breather again?
Yeah.
OK, we'll do that. You followed up Bleeding Love with a double A side, Better in Time, Footprints in the Sand.
Yes, I did.
Footprints in the Sand has got a writing credit for an S. Cow. He never wrote that.
He came up with the concept of putting the poem into a song.
OK.
And so you can get a writing claim for doing that, for coming up with the concept.
I'm sure you can if you're Simon Cowell. This double A side was huge for you, but famously kept off the #1 spot by about, like, the smallest margin by Duffy's Mercy, like 200 or 300 copies or something like that. Are you a Duffy fan, or has that sort of made you like, oh God, no?
I'm a huge Duffy fan. I think she's awesome. I love Mercy. That song was really, really cool.
You kind of loved it at the time, though.
No, I did.
It's got to get your goat a bit.
I know. The only thing I was disappointed is because Footprints was a charity song for Sport Relief, and I did some work with them.
Duffy's basically stealing money from charity.
Damn her. But that's the only thing I was disappointed at. But it's a very cool song, though, and it still raised a lot of money.
You did what was, for me, quite an unlikely hookup with Akon on Forgive Me.
Yeah.
How did that come about? I mean, are you a fan of Akon's work?
Yeah, he's produced for a lot of people. I loved what he did with Gwen Stefani. I wanted to work with him, and so, yeah, we got together and came up with Forgive Me.
Given his sort of self-professed reputation, were you scared to leave your car outside the studio because he nicked it?
I remember there being a lot of people in the studio that I was a bit scared of.
Yeah, of course. But, just trying to look in anyone's eyes.
So, okay.
Just head down.
But they were all really lovely, and yeah, just really nice guys.
The video for Forgive Me is quite it's all quite American looking, I think.
Yeah, it was.
Is it hard for, you know, like an East London girl to kind of, you know, bring that sort of style to a video?
Well, it was definitely kind of acting. We wanted to do a musical themed video, and I was in Carousel when I was younger, and so we put Carousel in there, Singing in the Rain, Fosse, and a bit of West Side Story.
West Side Story I've spotted.
Yes, exactly.
Pleased with myself.
And so it's kind of like taking on a character almost. So it was kind of different for me, for sure.
And the first time that we'd seen you dance, really, as well, I think.
Yeah, I did a little bit of a move.
Yeah, sure, you did a little bit of a move. I didn't mind it at all.
It was fun.
Hello, I'm Rick. This is the Leona Lewis Under the Skin special. I'm not lying to you. She's sitting right there. That's not a waxwork. That is the Leona Lewis. Have you got a waxwork?
I do.
Have you? Where is it?
It's in Madame Tussauds.
Very exciting.